I would argue to my libertarian friends, your definition of socialism is strange and not quite on target. Are there some socialists who are in love with the state and the power of the state? You bet. You get that. But there have always been socialists who are dead against that, and you seem either not to know it or to brush it aside. The history of socialism is intimately wrapped up with the history of anarchism. One of Marx's closest associates for years was Mikhail Bakunin, one of the great leaders of anarchism and one of the great theoreticians of it. They had their differences, to be sure, but they also had their solidarity, which is why they worked together. Socialists have always included complicated relationships with anarchists. One of the most famous remarks by Lenin shortly after the revolution in Russia was that his commitment and that of the Bolshevik leadership was to accomplish, I quote, the withering away of the state. Interesting remark for a socialist Marxist. He didn't want the state. He was committed to its withering away. He was the kind of socialist who looked to the removal of the power of the state as part of the objectives of socialism. In fact, socialism, he thought, had a better shot at achieving that goal than capitalism throughout its history had shown itself to be able to do. You might put it this way: Lenin was less utopian in his hostility to the state than libertarians are today. Modern socialism, I would ask my libertarian friends to think about, is all about democratizing the workplace, getting rid of the employer-employee relationship, and substituting a democratically run enterprise where everybody together, one person, one vote, makes the decisions of what to produce, how to produce, where to produce, and what to do with the fruits of the collective labor. You might think of modern socialism's focus on democratizing the workplace as getting rid of, here we go now, the state inside the workplace. This tiny group of people at the top, the board of directors, the owner, who functions like a powerful state, who decides who works and who doesn't, who has an income and who doesn't, who can threaten people with loss of job, loss of security, loss of promotion, and to achieve a power that no people should have over other people. To get rid of the state inside the enterprise is just as important, if not more so, than to get rid of it outside in the larger society. So maybe socialists, at least those who see what I've just said, that the future of socialism is the transformation of the workplace, have something to share with libertarians. They all want, in some way, to get rid of the baleful influence of the state. For socialists who are interested in democratizing the workplace, the way forward is to get rid of capitalism, by which is meant the relationship of employer to employee. I've noticed in my debates with libertarians that when I talk about democratizing the enterprise, they are in agreement. They say we want that too. Good. That is something we then have in common. We don't like the state, and we do want to democratize enterprises. Might that be the basis? I would like to leave you with this thought. Might that be the basis for some coming together of libertarians and socialists with a shared agenda, put the old jargon aside, of democratizing the enterprise, getting rid of the state inside the enterprise, blended together with making it no longer necessary to embrace the state in the larger society?